Envision a sanctuary where community and sustainability are the cornerstones of living. In this haven, every family is able to grow their own food, children flourish through homeschooling tailored to unlock their full potential, and education extends beyond textbooks, instilling self-worth and a deep understanding of the world around them. Here, goodwill isn't just an ideal, it's the essence of daily life, where respect for law and order harmonizes with the community's resourcefulness. This place isn't just a dream, it's a call to action for everyone who believes in a better, more connected way of living. Join us in building a future where each individual's contributions create a tapestry of enduring harmony and prosperity. Join us in Hotepistan.
Did you miss me? The Grift Report starts right now.
2, 1, boom. Hotep Jesus.
Of all the Jesuses I know, he's the Hotepiest. Social scientist and YouTube host, Hotep Jesus.
How the fuck do you get a name like Hotep Jesus?
The one and only Hotep Jesus.
Ryan Sharp, better known to the world as Hotep Jesus.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Somebody said, what do you think you are, some kind of Hotep Jesus?
Ooh,
and
that's
I was
good.
Just like, ooh, that's sexy. Yes, I do think I'm Hotep Jesus.
Good afternoon, Hoteps. Welcome to the Grift Report live Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm your host, the Griff God.
Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Oh, this a real Hotep brother.
Hotep to the chat. Hotep to my Hotepistanis.
Hotep.
Y'all seen a Hotepistan commercial? Oh, it's going up. Shout out to Syscoin. It's going up. If you ain't got no Syscoin, make sure you start loading your bags. Hotepistan is about to be built. And that's where my communications are going to be. My communications are going to be entirely within the community of Hotepistan in the cryptoverse, which is sort of like a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization. Some call it social finance. This is the future. Hotepistan coming soon. Make sure y'all load up them Syscoin bags. If you don't know how to, or you'd like to get in line to join Hotepistan, be a part of this great, great endeavor, hit the link in the description box below and join our Telegram group for more info. Yesterday, an entire family was sick. I woke up, thought I was exempt, and then very quickly found out I was not exempt. And the bug hit me. And I was out for the count. And I had made up my mind that I was going to do yesterday's stream. I said, I'm not going to just not do the stream because I'm sick. I'm going to fucking take some medicine, dope up, and make it. Yeah. So I want to say like 30 minutes before the show was going to start, I was going to do what today's topic was I was going to do yesterday. And I was like, I had done all the research already. And I was like, all right, let's go. And I got up and then collapsed. And that's when I realized, oh, yeah, today's stream isn't going to happen. I don't even have the energy to stand up. I can't even stand up. So unfortunately, I couldn't pull a flu game yesterday. But the bug is behind us. Now I'm hydrating and getting back to normal. And it seems like we are right on time. We are right on time. Who's in the chat? Let me check on my chatters real quick. Actually, let me separate these windows out. I'm out of practice. I got windows that shouldn't be together. Shout out to my rumblers rumbling. I see you. What up, Kay? Kay, I need you to fix your link for the 30th time. Fix your link. You can customize it in the back end so it can say menoforder.com/K. Fix that ASAP so it's clickable over on Rumble. You are losing clicks by not doing that. Steph Colonel, Jabari, Strong Dad, what up, y'all? I missed y'all, man. Renee Vogel, what up, yo? Metastep. Michelle says, balance and wellness to you, HJ, all in the chat. Hotep CPA, what up, man? He said, glad you're live today, Hotep and Bill. Shout out to Hotep CPA. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. That's a big super chat, too. 27 buckaroos. Appreciate you. Jay Pylon, as always. Protocol, I see you. Protocol will be DJing at the Grifties. Make sure y'all get y'all tickets to the Grifties. Did I have bad curry? Make sure you get your tickets to Grifties, grifties.com, Grifties.com, grifties.com. Go get your tickets. Our live event, special award show, the only award show that matters in this country. Make sure y'all go check it out. Of course, you know, I'll be joined on stage with none other than Primetime 99 Alex Stein, Chrissy Mayer, Sam Tripoli, Sonny Johnson, quarter of the Tim cast, and a bunch of special guests that are showing up that I'm not allowed to mention. So some of your favorites going to definitely be in the building. Take a healthy double dose of flow. You know what? You're absolutely right. Actually, I'm not going to take flow. I'm going to take my Apex because I got to refill my flow bottle. My flow bottle's running empty. I'm going to take some Apex, though. I got my Apex right here. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all in tune with the supplements over at menoforder.com. All right. So let's get into today's presentation. And before I do that, I want to open up the Griff bag. I want to see what's in the Griff bag that allows me to set this up. This could be a good start. Let's try that. What else? This could be added. And actually, we should start here. No, actually, we're gonna use that as the last piece before we move into today's presentation. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up a tweet by Libs of TikTok. You see that on your screen right now. Libs of TikTok here says, not a single student can read at grade level in 30 Illinois schools. I bet they can name a dozen genders and explain why white people are evil. You're going to see in today's presentation why I'm bringing these things up. But most notably, why white people are evil has been inserted into this unfortunate set of statistics. The next one here is from your favorite Matt Walsh. Somebody says slavery is white history. How we survived it is black history. Slavery is world history. White people did not invent it, and we're not the first to practice it, but we're the first to abolish it. The last place in the world to have legal slavery was Africa. It wasn't fully legally abolished on the continent until 1981. Laura Abba says also slavery is white history because you don't get white people as a social ruling class until 1689. Where's the quote tweets here? Where is it? How do you see quote tweets on here? View engagements. Yeah, view engagements. Quotes. Here we go. Sonny Johnson says, I'm glad you said this. White people were the first to racialize slavery. You created Black America with your adaptation to whiteness. We all agree you are not colorblind and America will not be erased. See you on the battlefield. Mofac says, spoken like a true political power bottom. And he quotes here Neely Fuller, if you don't understand white supremacy / racism, everything that you do understand will only confuse you. I was really looking for Goldstein's response. Is this it? Okay, here we go. Goldstein's response was the best, I thought. I thought his response was the best right here. Abolished, huh? If you say so. And he's got the Apple Google glasses on. The Apple Google glasses. That's what I'm calling them. The Apple Google glasses. And I thought that was just the best response, because when people say dumb shit, you kind of got to respond in a way that makes them look even dumber. This comment here from Matt Walsh didn't deserve any intellectual retort. Now let's go to the one before our presentation today. None other than Charlie Kirk.
Just customer service. At times, you can't. Here's what's upsetting to me, Heather, is if I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? It almost creates thought patterns that are not necessarily wholesome. It creates resentment, doesn't it, Heather? This is not a way to design society. Just customer service.
Now he's afraid of the customer service lady. Todd Mike says Matt Walsh is a master troll engagement harvester. Yeah, he's engagement farming. All right, without further ado, let's get to the intellectual side of today's debate. I gotta say, today's stream was definitely inspired by people like Charlie Kirk. I'm saying to myself, what is this anti-blackness all of a sudden coming from the Republicans? Like, why now? It seemed really weird that all these accounts are, in a concerted effort. It seems coordinated, like some central intelligence agency was behind all of this. But it seems coordinated. I was trying to figure out why. So, as you know, I always got to look back into history. So, what we're going to do is we're going to start with the Negro Republican Party. Try to figure out what happened here. Okay? I'm going to spend some time on this topic here. The Negro Republican Party. This is from Wikipedia, the most trusted source on the planet. The Negro Republican Party was one name used in the period before the end of the Civil Rights Movement. In the period for the end, okay. For a branch of the Republican Party in the southern United States, particularly Kentucky, that was predominantly made up of African Americans. In the Republican Party in the South during the Civil War and Reconstruction era, as well as decades thereafter, there was a split in the party's constituency and organization. One faction consisted of conservative white moderates who either gleefully or reluctantly accepted limits on African American civil rights and generally excluded African Americans from party participation, especially in leadership. Nationally, this faction was aligned with the contemporary moderate Republicans known as half-breeds. Following the end of Reconstruction in the Compromise of 1877, the other faction consisted of African Americans and so-called radicals who supported African American civil rights and party participation. Nationally, this faction was aligned with the contemporary radical Republicans, including the stalwart faction of the party, which subsequently materialized upon the Compromise of 1877 and succeeded the radicals thereafter. One method of black participation in the Republican Party at the time included involvement in the Union Leagues, Republican political organizations formed in the South in 1867 during the Reconstruction era to promote black political activity and civil rights. And this was named after organizations of the same name formed in the North during the Civil War to promote activity in favor of the Union. Okay, so Union Leagues comes from the Civil War. After circa 1890, when the factional division of the National Republican Party between the half-breeds and stalwarts is generally understood to have ended, the pro-black, racially inclusive faction of the Republican Party in the South became generally known as the Black and Tan faction, while the racially exclusive, white-centric faction became generally known as the Lily White movement. William F. Butler of Jefferson County, Kentucky, spoke at the first convention of the Negro Republican Party held in Lexington, Kentucky in November 1867 and became the president of the party. The religious, so wait, let's stop right there and head back on over to Twitter. Doe posted something here. Here we go. So here he is. He quotes Butler here. He says, "Not all men are equal, but every man has the right to be equal of every other man if he can. In all constitutions, all laws, all enactments, all prejudices, all caste, all custom, all contravention of that right is unjust, impolitic, and unchristian." Let's go back. So that's the same William Butler that we have here. I think, although I could be wrong. Let me see. No, I think this is a different Butler. My apologies. And my apologies if that's the same one. I just saw him tweet that and I thought it was the same person. All right, let's continue. The religious leader, Elisha Green, was chosen vice president of the Kentucky branch at Lexington Convention in 1867. He was a leading Baptist preacher, blah, blah, blah. Democrats opposed civil rights and voting rights for African Americans, who were the majority of eligible voters in some states. In 1866, the Old Guard magazine accused Democrats of using force and fraud to gain and retain power and representing but a despised faction of American people. Let's skip down to the last paragraph here. It says, African-American males were allowed some voting rights in Alabama until 1901, when the state functionally disenfranchised them, although still technically letting them register. Interesting. The Negro Republican Party in Birmingham, Alabama, was organized in opposition to the Lily White Republican Party. After that party prevented any of the 25 black delegates from taking part in its Birmingham convention. In Maryland, while the Democrats were typically against allowing blacks to vote at all, the Republicans wanted to give them this and other basic rights, but many did not want blacks to hold important political offices or to have frequent contact with whites. Their vote was important to Republicans. However, in 1909, at a time when the Democrats were pushing for disenfranchisement in the state, Republicans called on all members of the Negro Republican Party to turn out on voting day in every district. So here, their vote was important to Republicans. We're going to revisit this in a moment here. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of the Negro Republican Party, which I think this does not do a good job of exhausting all the details, but fine enough. Okay. Democrats pushing for disenfranchisement, and again, Republicans calling on the Negro Republican Party to turn out in voting, right? So they don't want blacks to have power or frequent contact with whites, right? All right, let's continue. So now that leads us to the Lily White movement. What is this Lily White movement that the previous article was talking about? And this is where we're going to spend a good portion of today's stream, discussing the Lily White movement. Jabari said, I think him, Yvette, and Tariq Nasheed should go in a room and hash it all out. They mostly agree on everything. Yeah. Todd Mike says, always remembers the civil rights movement started in 1866, not 1966. By the time Malcolm, Martin, and our parents and them, That was like the sixth iteration of the movement. That's a great grab from my read. Absolutely. Jabari said that brother Naeem is a good historian on the early Black Freedmen Republican Party. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. He does a lot of deep dives into the Freedmen. Okay, now let's go back. Lily White movement. So, the question today is, what happened to all of the Black Republicans? Why is Charlie Kirk acting like this? Why does there seem to be a concerted effort to push Black people out of the Republican Party? It says here, the Lily White movement was an anti-Black political movement within the Republican Party in the United States in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. It was a response to political and socio-economic gains made by African Americans following the Civil War and the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, which eliminated slavery and involuntary servitude except as punishment for crime. During Reconstruction, Black leaders in the South gained influence in the Republican Party by organizing Black people as an important voting bloc via union leagues and the biracial Black and tan faction of the Republicans. Conservative whites attempted to eliminate this influence and recover white voters who had defected to the Democratic Party. The Lily White movement proved successful throughout the South and was a key factor in the growth of the Republican Party in the region. So you may not like the strategy, but it worked. It absolutely worked to give Republicans more power. Let's drop down here. The background says, immediately following the war, all the southern states enacted black codes, laws intended specifically to curtail the rights of newly freed African Americans. Many northern states enacted their own black codes, restricting or barring black immigration. The Civil Rights Act of 1866, however, nullified most of these laws, and the Federal Freedmen's Bureau was able to regulate many of the affairs of Southern black men who were granted the right to vote in 1867. Groups such as Union League and the Radical Republicans sought total equality and complete integration of Black people into American society. It says here, the Republican Party itself held significant power in the South during Reconstruction because of the federal government's role. Okay. I think one of the things I like to construe here is state control with Republicans, federal control with the Democrats, especially congressional-wise. And again, coming back to just creating a balance of power, right? Controlling the people. Anyway, during Reconstruction, union leagues were formed across the South after 1867 as an all-black working auxiliaries of the Republican Party. They were secret organizations that mobilized free men to register and vote to the Republican. Register to vote and to vote Republican. They discussed political issues, promoted civic projects, and mobilized workers opposed to certain employers. Most branches were segregated, but a few were integrated. The leaders of the all-black units were mostly urban Black people from the North who had never been enslaved. Historian Eric Foner reports, by the end of 1867, it seemed that virtually every Black voter in the South had enrolled in the Union League, the Loyal League, or some equivalent local political organization. Meetings were generally held in a Black church or school. So nearly every Black voter in the South was basically a Republican. Amazing. According to Eric Foner, Black leaders of the 19th century. And now today, it's the opposite. Be hard pressed to find a Black Republican voter. So why? During the 19th century, a small number of African Americans were elected to United States Congress. All were members of the Republican Party. In the South, the party was a voting coalition of freedmen, freed slaves, carpetbaggers. Carpetbaggers is a derogatory term used by Southern whites for recent arrivals from the North, and scalawags, a derogatory term describing those Southern whites who had been loyal to the U.S. during the Civil War. In the South, the Republican Party gradually became known as the Party of the Negro. The Party of the Negro. So every black voter in the South is basically a Republican, and the Republican Party is called the Party of the Negro. In Texas, black people comprised 90% of the party's members during the 1800s. So 90% of the Republican Party in Texas was black folk. Wow. The Democratic Party increasingly came to be seen by many in the white community as the party of respectability. The first Ku Klux Klan targeted violence against black Republican leaders and seriously undercut the Union League. So some responses to, how black people ended up with the Democratic Party. Everybody says it was the Gibbs, give me something for free. And let's take a look at it. Republican factionalism. Black Republicans increasingly demanded more and more offices at the expense of the scalawags. The more numerous black and tan element typically won the factional battles. Many scalawags joined the opposing lily whites or switched to the Democrats. Okay. Following the death of Texas Republican leader Edmund J. Davis in 1883, black civil rights leader Norris Wright Cuny rose to the Republican chairmanship in Texas, becoming a national committee man in 1889. While black Americans were a minority overall in Texas, Cuny's rise to this position caused a backlash among white conservative Republicans in other areas, leading to lily whites becoming a more organized nationwide effort. Cuny himself coined the term lily white movement to describe rapidly intensifying organized efforts by white conservatives to oust black Republicans from positions of party leadership and incite riots to divide the party. Some authors contend that the effort was coordinated with Democrats as part of a larger movement toward disenfranchisement of black people in the South by increasing restrictions in voter registration rules. Positions of party leadership. We got to highlight that. Super important. And then coordinated with Democrats. So let's fast forward 2024. Is there fear among the lily white Republicans that they could be replaced by black leadership? Is that a fear? Or do they fear Sonny Johnson rising to power amongst the Republicans? And this is the thought that just came to my mind just now, which is why I had to pause. Is it because they fear that they will lose to the Democrats if they get too black because of the racist whites that still exist today? We can't appear to be too black. We got to curb this a little bit. We're going to get back to that in a second. Let's continue. I'm going to show you an interesting stat here in a second, but let's continue. We're going to revisit that thought. Coordinated with Democrats. So the Democrats, according to some authors, also supported the lily white movement because it was disenfranchisement of black people. They didn't want black people in positions of power within any political party. So it was a coordinated effort by not only Democrats, but lily white Republicans to diminish the roles of blacks in the Republican Party. Okay. What is too black, says Metatep. Metastep. What up, Sonny? Sonny's in the chat. You see, I said Sonny's name and didn't even know she was here. Y'all see that? That's my sister right there. Metastep. He said, what is too black? I'm going to show you in a second. What I mean by too black. And let's dive into a little bit here. Sonny Johnson's comment. They fear the power of our culture. I do agree with that. I do think that at the grifter level, you know, they fear that somebody like a Sonny Johnson could be way more persuasive at changing the face of this nation, and the grifter class would be replaced with somebody more honorable. Somebody who won't try and divide the nation. I do think so. And that goes across the color barrier too, because there's white people that could do really good shit and they won't allow them in, right? But black people are generally very, very charismatic and persuasive, mostly because we're allowed to do things that white people are not allowed to do in regard to communication. Let's continue. Downfall of black Republicans. By 1890, with a few brief exceptions, the Democratic Party had gained control of all state legislatures in the South. Damn. It went from Republican to Democrat that fast. From 1890 to 1908, Southern states accomplished disenfranchisement of black people, and in some states, many poor whites. Many poor whites. As I was telling you before, a lot of times this shit comes down to class. These lily whites, they look at the poor whites like niggas too. During the first 3 decades of the 20th century, no black people served in the U.S. Congress due to their disenfranchisement across the South. Black leaders were barred in 1922 from the Virginia Republican Congressional Convention. The state had imposed racial segregation in public places and disenfranchised most black people by this time. At the national level, the Republican Party made some attempts to respond to black interests. In 1920, Republicans made opposition to lynching part of their platform at the Republican National Convention. Lynchings of black women and men in the South had increased in the decades around the turn of the century. Leonidas C. Dyer, a white Republican representative from St. Louis, Missouri, worked with the NAACP to introduce an anti-lynching bill into the House, where he gained strong passage in 1922. One of the black and tan partisans who continued to hold appointed office was Walter L. Cohen of New Orleans, the customs inspector and later comptroller of customs. He gained appointments for Republican presidents and continued in office through Calvin Coolidge administration. Let's jump to the aftermath. Aftermath, it says here, Lily White, black and tan factionalism flared up in 1928 when Herbert Hoover tried to appeal to upper-class Southern whites, and again in 1932 as a New Deal coalition built by FDR began to attract African-American voters to the Democratic Party. Due to Democratic support of the Civil Rights Movement and congressional passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Voting Rights Act of 1965, the shift of African-Americans toward Democratic candidates accelerated. According to author and professor Michael K. Fauntroy, the Lily White movement is one of the darkest and most underexamined eras of American republicanism. I'd have to agree. Now this leads us to the last section of this presentation called the Southern Strategy. Okay. AJ, what would you estimate is the percentage of white people that are racist? Should parties pander to these types if we want a more united America? Wait, what? What percentage of white people are racist? I would say more than not. I don't know, 60%. I would say more white people are racist than not racist. And that is a range from mild to extremely racist, right? And I think that would go down to the extent of, preservation of their race. If their daughter brought a nigger home, they'd be really upset. But what was the second part of this question? Should the parties pander to these types if we want a more united America? I saw somebody online answer this very well. They said politicians always pander, like that's what they do. So it's like you want them to pander to you, but not another group. It's kind of weird. I'm sorry, y'all. Sonny Johnson says Hoover was a Mr. Lily White. Should parties pander? Like they all pander. You just like it when they pander to one group and not the other. That's what it looks like. And that's part of the Lily White movement, right? It's like let's pander to whites, but if you talk to whites, it's not pandering. But if you talk to blacks, now it's pandering. And it's just like, well, what is pandering at this point? You know what I'm saying? So let's go to the Southern strategy here. So it says Southern strategy. In American politics, the Southern strategy was a Republican Party electoral strategy to increase political support among white voters in the South by appealing to racism against African Americans. So not only did you have the Lily White movement in the Republican Party, now you have the Southern strategy. Okay. So if you're wondering why black people are not a part of the Republican Party, or why black people view the Republican Party as racist, you should now begin to understand why. Because there was a serious conservative effort to remove them from the Republican Party and positions of leadership. As the civil rights movement and dismantling of Jim Crow laws in the 1950s and 1960s visibly deepened existing racial tensions in much of southern United States, Republican politicians such as presidential candidate Richard Nixon and Senator Barry Goldwater developed strategies that successfully contributed to political realignment of many white conservative voters in the South who had traditionally supported the Democratic Party. It also helped to push the Republican Party much more to the right relative to the 1950s. By winning all of the South, a presidential candidate could obtain the presidency with minimal support elsewhere. Okay. It says here the phrase Southern strategy refers primarily to top-down narratives of the political realignment of the South, which suggests the Republican leaders consciously appealing to many white Southerners' racial grievances to gain their support. Appeal to many white Southerners to gain their support. So when I see the Charlie Kirks and the wokeness and all of that stuff happening online and the race grifting, this is what I see. Appealing to race grievances to gain support. So all the white people that still harbor some of that racial animus, let's tap into that to gain some support for the party too. This top-down narrative of the Southern strategy is generally believed to be the primary force that transformed Southern politics following the Civil Rights era. The scholarly consensus is that racial conservatism was critical to the post-Civil Rights Act realignment of the Republican and Democratic parties, though several aspects of this view have been debated by historians and political scientists. The perception that the Republican Party had served as a vehicle of white supremacy in the South, particularly during the Goldwater campaign and the presidential elections of 1968 and 1972, made it difficult for the Republican Party to win back support of black voters in the South in later years, as we're seeing now. In 2005, Republican National Committee Chairman Ken Melman formally apologized to the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People for exploiting racial polarization to win elections and for ignoring the black vote. So you got this guy Ken right here at the RNC in 2005 apologizes to the NAACP. I don't know why he would apologize to NAACP. He should apologize to black people as a whole. But okay, fine, whatever. There is some admittance. So somebody said, wait, can y'all hear me? Did we get disconnected? Did y'all hear all of that? Did it pause? We good? Looked like YouTube was acting stupid for a second. What's up with Rumble? Rumble's doing what Rumble does. Rumble's acting dumb. That's really weird. And now YouTube's acting weird. Hold on. All right. YouTube's back now. Oh, the chat glitched? All right, cool. I'm good? All right. It only cut out for what, a second? Okay, cool. All right. So now somebody in the chat, they asked, well, how black is too black? I'm glad you asked that question. Introduction to the Southern Strategy. Y'all be walking right into this shit. It'd be funny as hell to me. Although the phrase Southern Strategy is often attributed to Nixon's political strategist Kevin Phillips, he did not originate it, but popularized it. In an interview included in a 1970 New York Times article, Phillips stated his analysis based on studies of ethnic voting. So this is Kevin Phillips, American writer and commentator on politics and economics and history, Republican Party strategist. So what does this Republican Party strategist say? And he says, from now on, the Republicans are never going to get more than 10 to 20% of the Negro vote, and they don't need any more than that. So you ask me, how black is too black? Well, I guess according to Kevin Phillips, anything over 20% is too black. 10 to 20%. And you see our numbers are usually, I think last time it was like 12% or something like that. So my mind just drifted just now again into imagine, see, my mind is working. I'm sorry. I just got like 30 different fucking, because you got the Congressional Black Caucus, you got most of these blacks, they rock with the Democrats. And I was just thinking what does a full black takeover Republican Party look like? And again, this still comes back to Lily White movement, because if the Republican Party slowly became more black, you'd have pushback. Like the dude in the chat that says, oh, this is pandering. But many conservatives go off of meritocracy. So if a black man or woman came into power under the Republican Party through meritocracy, it would still be viewed as pandering or DEI. And I think this is what many people are afraid of. Many politicians are afraid of. They're afraid of appearing to pander to black people. And I think there's, any more than 20% of the Republican. And keep in mind, 20% of black people in Republican leadership roles would look very black. I don't know how I can substantiate that claim. To me, it just looks very black. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue. So hopefully I answered your question when you asked how black is too black. There you go. I gave you an answer. I just started seeing code like in the Matrix. Word. Sonny says, if history is pandering, founding fathers are doomed. Oh, man. Hit the like button, please. Hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Takes 2 seconds. Hit the like button. Let me catch up on the chat before I finish. Strong Dad said, if you're not racist to any degree, then you're a bitch. What percentage of black people are racist? I would probably say more than not. I would say more than not. Definitely more than not. All right, let's continue. So it says, from now on, the Republicans are never going to get more than 10 to 20% of the Negro vote, and they don't need to get any more than that. But Republicans would be short-sighted if they weakened enforcement of the Voting Rights Act. The more Negroes who register as Democrats in the South, the sooner the Negro-phobe whites will quit the Democrats and become Republicans. That's where the votes are. Without that prodding from the blacks, the whites will backslide into their old comfortable arrangement with the local Democrats. And there it is. The answer I was looking for. Why is Charlie Kirk and them acting like this? The Negro-phobe whites will quit the Democrats and become Republicans. That's where the votes are. Without that prodding from the blacks, the whites will backslide into their old comfortable arrangement with the local Democrats. Wow. Wow. So they said, we want to get these white folks to vote. Let's hit that racial animus button. That's where the votes are. The more Negroes who vote as Democrats in the South, the sooner the Negro-phobe whites will quit the Democrats and become Republicans. Ain't that a bitch? Ain't that something else? Is there a difference in why black people are racist and why white people are? I think there's definitely a difference in why black people are racist and white people are racist. I think black people are racist because of our history with white people in this country. This question comes from Sonny Johnson. Our history and the way we were treated is why we're racist towards white people, and white people are racist towards black people because, well, now you got to share. Now you got to share. Now you got to deal with black people on the level of meritocracy. You didn't like meritocracy. Meritocracy started working against whites. So whites had to create the black codes and other state legislations to destroy meritocracy. Because meritocracy started favoring black folks too much. Sonny Johnson said that's why they blame the war on white people on us. When it is their white progressive cousins. That's true. That's true. When we look at what Charlie Kirk says here, that's exactly what he does.
As affirmative action almost creates thought patterns that are not necessarily wholesome.
You see, he said it creates those thought patterns that are not necessarily wholesome.
Creates thought patterns that are not affirmative action, almost create because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? Almost creates thought patterns that are not necessarily wholesome. It creates resentment, doesn't it, Heather?
The Southern strategy. So now I don't think this is the Southern strategy no more. This is the Negro-phobe strategy that we're experiencing now. That's what I'm going to call it. The Negro-phobe strategy. The woke right. Let's continue. It says, while Phillips sought to increase Republican power by polarizing ethnic voting in general, and not just to win the white South, the South was by far the largest prize yielded by his approach. Its success began at the presidential level. Gradually, Southern voters began to elect Republicans to Congress and finally to statewide and local offices, particularly as some legacy segregationist Democrats such as Strom Thurmond retired or switched to the GOP. In addition, the Republican Party worked for years to develop grassroots political organizations across the South, supporting candidates for local school boards and city and county offices, for example. But following the Watergate scandal, the Southern voters came out in support of the favorite son candidate, Southern Democrat Jimmy Carter. So let's go to this section here on background. I'm just going to read the first paragraph here. It says, during Reconstruction, the Republican Party built up its base across the South and controlled each state except Virginia. But from a national perspective, the Republicans gave priority to its much better established northern state operations. Southerners distrusted the scalawags, found the carpetbaggers distasteful, and lacked respect for the black component of their Republican political party. Richard Abbott says that national Republicans always stressed building their northern base rather than extending their party into the South, and whenever the northern and southern needs conflicted, the latter always lost. Okay, let's jump down here to the next section. Here we go. Okay. So here we have another Republican strategist. This is Atwater, Lee Atwater, which many of you are familiar with. So Atwater, in this interview with Southern Politics, 1981, Atwater says, as to the whole Southern strategy that Harry Dent and others put together in 1968, opposition to the Voting Rights Act would have been central part of keeping the South. Now, Reagan doesn't have to do that. All you have to do to keep the South is for Reagan to run in place on the issues he's campaigned on since 1964, and that's fiscal conservatism, balancing the budget, cut taxes, the whole cluster. Questioner says, but the fact is, isn't it, that Reagan does get to the Wallace voter and to the racist side of the Wallace voter by doing away with legal services by cutting down on food stamps. Atwater says, y'all don't quote me on this. You start out in 1954 by saying nigger, nigger, nigger. By 1968, you can't say nigger, that hurts you. It backfires. So you say stuff like forced busing, states' rights, and all that stuff. You're getting so abstract now. You're talking about cutting taxes, and all these things you're talking about are totally economic things, and a byproduct of them is that blacks get hurt worse than whites. And subconsciously, maybe that is part of it. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that if it is getting that abstract and that coded, that we are doing away with the racial problem one way or another, you follow me? Because obviously sitting around saying we want to cut this is more abstract than even the busing thing, and a hell of a lot more abstract than nigger, nigger. Okay? Now, says here from 1980 to 1988 presidential elections, Georgia was the only Southern state to support a Democratic presidential candidate. Republicans won U.S. seats in Mississippi and Alabama for the first time since the Reconstruction in 1978 and 1980. So you can say what you want, but the shit worked. It worked. And this is 78 and 80, where the Southern strategy works. Get rid of the Negro. So when somebody asks me a question like, what percentage of white people, according to history, more than not, I gotta guess more than not. Sonny said they would partner with white progressive cousins that hated them, then build with black Americans. Yep. Yep. And Republicans picked black faces for political positions. The people weren't allowed to choose. Abstractions and obfuscation is how they move both parties. Yeah. Yeah. Like Yvette says, it is all hinged on ADOS people. AKA, as we know it on this channel, the great black grifting. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Let's go to the phone line, see what the people got to say. Text Hotep in your name to 202-596-5631. Text Hotep in your name to 202-596-5631. And I'll be right back after this short, brief commercial break.
Envision a sanctuary where community and sustainability are the cornerstones of living. In this haven, every family is able to grow their own food, children flourish through homeschooling tailored to unlock their full potential, and education extends beyond textbooks, instilling self-worth and a deep understanding of the world around them. Here, goodwill isn't just an ideal, it's the essence of daily life, where respect for law and order harmonizes with the community's resourcefulness. This place isn't just a dream, it's a call to action for everyone who believes in a better, more connected way of living. Join us in building a future where each individual's contributions create a tapestry of enduring harmony and prosperity. Join us in Hotepistan.
Jonah has joined us as the first caller today. Jonah, you said you disagree with my take on Charlie Kirk. Talk to the people. Tell them what's on your mind.
So first, I'm going to say I have no opinion on your, this is not about the presentation. It's about Kirk. Mr. Commie Kirk, you missed the most important part of what he said there. And that is no way to design society. So he's talking about centralization and designing society. He's a communist.
You're saying he believes in designing the society, and you're purporting that
he literally said design society.
Interesting.
Yeah, if you play that clip back, he says that's no way to design society. So he's a fucking communist. Commie Kirk.
Damn. Okay. I no rebuttal from me. No rebuttal from me.
As soon as I heard that word, I was like, man, I'm not gonna lie. I got a bunch of shit going on today too. I missed part of the presentation, but I'm like, man, Commie Kirk. Oh, here. So I sent you those ones with the the AI images that were allowed me to make that Joe Biden stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like the border stuff?
Yeah.
So I tried to get 3 or 4 different AI programs to make Charlie Kirk as Stalin.
Mm-hmm.
They all shut me down. So that border shit is being pushed intentionally, and that's why Bill Gates is not allowing his AI software to make.
You
those
said
images.
what's being pushed intentionally?
All that border shit.
The border shit is being pushed intentionally for what?
Because I can't make an AI image of Charlie Kirk dressed as Stalin. But yet I can get the U.S. border with cash being handed out to migrants, and they make that image. Yeah, that's an op that they let that image ever go through.
Oh man, I hear you, man.
Yeah. Anyways.
All right, let me get to the
I'll
next
let
caller, bro.
Goldstein come in. Hotep Bill.
Hotep and Bill. Commie Kirk. Did he say that? What did he say?
Iconic black woman. I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of
customer support? Has anyone actually ever seen excellence in a customer support agent? It's like few and far between. I'm surprised, if I hear a black woman on the other end of my customer support call, I breathe a sigh of relief. Why? Because usually the person on the other end of the phone call isn't even an American.
from?
Rudy the Vet.
Rudy, yo, what's up, man?
What's going on, brother? How you doing today?
Good, good. What's up, man?
You feeling better, man?
A little bit. We getting there.
All right, good, man. Good, man. I agree with you and disagree with you, man. Like, I like the breakdown of what happened, you know, because brothers did start, you know, they were a founding part of the Republican Party. So I like that breakdown. But I don't think Charlie Kirk and the Daily Wire are out trying to push whites back to the Republican Party, because the whites that are progressive cousins will never go back, like Sonny said. So who wants to fucking work with them? I just think that those two groups of people who bitched and moaned for 4 or 5 years about identity politics is bad, have tried to use identity politics against the left instead of, you know, just sticking to their principles, because the money came in, the flow came in, and these idiots are just so blind that they just adopted the tactic of the left and tried to use it. The reactionary right, the woke right, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's as deep as, you know, trying to push progressives or you know, the stereotyping Lily White back to the Republicans. I think they're just fucking dumb, dude. They've been trying to fight a culture war, like Tim Pool says every night. We're winning the culture war. We're winning the culture war. We're winning the culture war. But good ideas win the culture war, not identity politics, man. And that's all it is, man. Just the reactionary right doing what we talk about all the time. They're just dumbasses, man. They're dumbasses, man. Playing identity politics, but in the opposite direction, dude. I don't really think that they're smart enough to. I don't really think they're smart enough to try and, what would you call it, de-Negro white?
I agree with Jabari. I agree with Jabari. He says they work together by pretending they are opposed. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just, I don't know. I just don't think Kirk and them are that smart, dude.
They're not, but they're not, but they have marching orders.
Oh, I mean, they got money behind them, dude. Whatever gets them more clicks, dude. It's clickbait.
No. For Charlie Kirk, it's not about money. For Charlie Kirk, it's not about money. Charlie Kirk comes from money. For Charlie Kirk, it's not about money. For Charlie Kirk, it's about power. And Charlie Kirk, because of the connections through his father and all the donors that he has, the political right is being partly manipulated by things that come out of TPUSA.
So they know. So what I'm saying is that, and you can see with Trump and his team, you know, like he talks to that Darnell Scott a lot. So, you know, they realize that you got to blow these motherfuckers out of the water because they're going to cheat. So you got to blow this shit out. You need 100 million people to vote for.
When I'm thinking about, like, as a political strategist, if there's any time that you'd pull a Lily White movement, it would be right now, right? Because Charlie Kirk had years to say shit about MLK, and he's always said positive things about him. Now it's negative. And I think it's now because they can pull the Lily White thing because they know that most black people aren't going to vote in this next election coming up. And the black vote is basically impotent in this next election. And most people are going based upon what they see in their bank account and the prices at the grocery store and a gas station. So if there's ever going to be a Southern strategy or a Lily White movement, now would be the best time to do it.
Yeah, but do you think that in 2024, the Lily Whites that he would be trying to push back to the Republicans would even consider going back that way?
Yeah. If it means more for whites than for blacks, yeah. And I specifically, I'm thinking about, because, you know, this is all about like swing states and, you know, moving voters over and winning, you know, white Democrats. And when I look at, you know, places like Massachusetts and Boston, for example, one of the most racist places on the planet, but how do they vote?
Yeah, but they're never, I mean, they're not, come on, man. They're not flipping nothing in Boston. They're not flipping nothing in Massachusetts. They're not flipping nothing in the Northeast, period. And it's the most racist police in the fucking country, dude. From New Jersey on up to Maine, dude, is the most racist place in the country.
It says right here, in 2020, Massachusetts was the second most Democratic state following Vermont, right? Now, I'm not saying they're going to flip the state, what I'm saying is that some of the most racist places in America are in democratic states, and that's some of the hearts that they might want to think about flipping. And
yeah, but wouldn't that be a waste of time, bro? You're not gonna flip it, dude. You're not, man. You're not. They fucking voted in a Chinese mayor who said, "Hey, I'm throwing a Christmas party, no whites allowed," and then all their representatives came out and defended it, man. So if Charlie Kirk, if this is what he's really doing, it's trying to turn them people back, then he's even dumber than just trying to play identity politics in reverse role, bro, because you're not turning any of those people back, man.
How do you substantiate the claim that they're not going to flip those states?
Brother, come on. It's the New England, man. I have family there, man. I have family there. I know how they think. I know how they act. I know how they are, dude. They're not. You could punch them in the goddamn face with the facts, and they will go Joe until they will go Joe and ride that.
What about swing states?
I mean, who knows, man? It's all a game. It's all rigged. You know. I'm a Hotep, man. I don't believe in none of that.
What about
shit,
the swing
dude.
states?
I don't know, man. I don't think that
the lily white approach could definitely work in the swing states.
Yeah, but the like Sonny said, man, the whites that hate me, the whites that push the anti-white shit. Charlie can say any fucking thing he wants. He will never change any of their fucking minds, HJ. They've all been indoctrinated. They're not going to change their mind because Charlie Kirk says and gets Heather McDonald up there and says, "Oh, you got to question everything because of affirmative action." They're not. That ain't gonna do nothing but piss them off to hate me even more, because they'll think all conservatives or all free thinkers are like Charlie Kirk, instead of ever having a conversation with a guy like me that's open-minded. You see what I'm saying?
So in a swing state, what's going to make people swing one way or another?
Your wallet, and then fuel prices. Now watch them gas prices drop back down to about $2 before that election.
Okay, so the wallet, right? What those prices look like, right? So that's going to bring you over to which side?
Dog.
Republicans or the Democrats?
Hold on, brother. This is my. I only voted once in my life, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the opportunity. I mean, when I was young, I didn't give a shit. I was getting cake. And when I finally got my rights back in 2020 is the first time I ever voted in my life. Now, if Biden got in and my bank account doubled and tripled instead of shrink to absolutely fucking nothing, then I will vote for Joe Biden to keep the train rolling, bro. I don't care. Those people in D.C. don't care whether I live. They don't care whether I die. They don't care about my kids. They don't care about nothing but their own fucking wallets. So whoever I vote for, and most independent people in this country vote for, is the wallet, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Jabari has a good quote here. He says, "It's not about flipping votes. It's about creating enough vitriol to convince the left to come out. Simple, controlled opposition approach to achieve your goal." Yeah.
Well, maybe. I just don't think that Kirk and them are. I don't think that. I think they're just playing identity politics. They just adopted a fucking tactic of the left, and now the woke right is using it. Man, I don't think it's about trying, because they're stupid. HJ, these are not intelligent people.
You think Charlie Kirk picked up identity politics with absolutely zero motive and thought behind it?
No, I think that Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, and their whole fucking ilk sat around for years watching the left and Barack Obama and all of those fucking people blast identity politics and see them gain political power with it. So now they're trying to do the same thing. They're trying to do the same fucking thing. Now, what that means, I don't know. But I don't think that it's like, oh, man.
You almost there, Rudy.
White people.
You almost there.
I don't know,
You just made my point in a different way. You just made my point in a different way.
Well, I mean, I guess, bro. I just don't think. I think
you just said they did what the left did, right?
Yeah, they're doing exactly what the left did, man. Exactly what the left did.
For what?
And now you have to try and gain. Is it working, brother?
What'd you say to gain?
No,
did you you just said?
I said what you.
You just said what I said. They saw the left use the race,
use it to gain
identity
power,
politics
right?
to gain political power. When I said Charlie Kirk was doing this to gain political power, you disagree.
Is it working? Is it working? Is it working for Charlie Kirk? Is it working for Ben Shapiro, dude? Is it working? When you need the African American, you need everybody to come out to lump these fucking lefties out of power in one good swoop. Is it really fucking working when every day important black voices are fucking smashing Charlie Kirk? Important white verses, people like me are smashing Charlie Kirk because of the fucking dumb shit. Is it working, HJ? Is it working? Did they adopt the tactic? Yes. Is it working? Absolutely not, dude. Absolutely not. It's not working. If they would have just stayed the course of, hey man, let's judge on content and character. Let's judge on excellence. Instead of crying and bitching like the fucking left did, the Republican Party might be when Sonny had the boys up there in Chicago talking about how they're trying to kick in the Republican Party of Chicago and take it away from the Lily. Maybe we might be getting somewhere, bro. We're not. So it's not working, dude.
All right,
say they adopted the tactic to push people, but it's not working, dude. It's not working. So what's the point in it? What's the point in doing something that doesn't work?
That's not what you said in the beginning of the phone call.
Yeah, I because
in the beginning of the phone call, I said, they're doing this for political power. You said you disagreed, then you circled right back around and said they're doing it for political power.
All right, brother. I just you're giving them too much credit, man. You're giving them too much credit.
It wasn't about if it's working or not. It was about is what they're doing the tactic? Is the Lily White movement the tactic?
I mean, all right.
Whether it's working or not is another story. If I look at my timeline, it looks like it's working. According to the timeline, it's working.
I told you. Why would you say that, dude? When the people
because there's zero pushback. There's zero pushback from white Republicans on how a lot of the people on the right operate. You will not find a single prominent white Republican conservative account that pushes back on the content that comes out of wokeness and the rest of those accounts. They won't. They're in lockstep with it.
I mean, then they're doomed to fail, dude, and we'll all be shooting it out with the commies. They're doomed to fail, and we'll all be shooting it out with the commies, man.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, let me get this Sonny. Let me get Sonny in here.
All right, brother.
Ayo. I'm about to call Sonny. It says, then when Trump wins, you create and control the opposition party, which is extreme enough to follow the new programming. Yeah. Definitely looks like a Lily White strategy. Let me get Sonny on the line here. Hold on, I gotta pull up her number and get her input on this. Hold on. What can you guys see? Okay, cool. Hold on. All right.
Hello?
Sonny.
Yo.
Yo. What up? How you feeling?
I am chilling. So you know me, I'm ready to spit real quick.
Absolutely.
All right. So I want to answer kind of everything that Rudy said and kind of bring everything about around full tilt, right?
Mm-hmm.
I agree with him in terms of, first and foremost, the reason that Charlie Kirk is doing, and Charlie Kirk and Matt Walsh and Jack Pussy, the reason that they're all doing what they're doing is because they are in a white-on-white fight, right? So the white progressives made their first move. Their first move was separating themselves from the white conservatives. This is why they created the whole LGBT and all of that shit. And you don't actually have to be gay to be in that movement, right? You can just imagine yourself there and you're there. They created that to separate themselves from white conservatives. Now they have a protected class for the white progressives. And now they say white supremacy and white guilt and white privilege and white this and white that. Them saying that now blankets them from being the bad white. So not only are they not only are they blanketed for being to be the good whites, but they are also a protected class under the alphabet. Right?
Yep.
And then now they've set up their move. Now the conservatives have to respond to their move. They know how the white conservatives are going to respond to their move. They know the white conservatives are going to be racist. They know what they're going to do, right? So now their whole board is set. They are protected. They are separated. There is a clear line between the white progressive and the white conservative. The white progressive is protected, and the white conservative is a target. And the white conservative comes back and does exactly what their white progressive cousins want them to do. Because if you understood this and you were a white conservative, you would say, okay, y'all want to play get the black vote? Let's play. I think black people like capitalism and ownership and enterprise. I think black people like those things. So you want to play this game? Let's play this game and see who ends up with the. Like if you were serious, that's what you would do. But that's not what these people do. Even when Trump is pulling black people with them acting like assholes, they still won't do it. So it can tell you how unserious they are about it. But their whole reasoning for acting the way they act is not to mirror what the left is doing. It is a response to what the left has done. The left has broken whiteness. And if you start listening to them, and what are they all complaining about? That whiteness no longer exists because the white progressive cousins don't want to be white no more. They want to be alphabet people and tree lovers and raccoons and rabbits and all other kinds of shit. They want to be anything other than white. So if half of your whiteness is broken off, then what the fuck do you have left? White progressives are not identifying as white. They're identifying as an alphabet. So now they have to deal with the fact that whiteness is broke. And that's what they want to solve. That's what they want to cure. They want to revamp some kind of privilege and what it means to be white. But they don't even have enough white people to do it. Your white base ain't strong, baby. So white people don't like you. This is not a fight you are having with black people. This is not our issue. It has nothing to do with us. Your white progressive cousins made a move on your 4D chessboard that your white ass can't figure out. You don't know how to beat it. You don't know how to counter it. And the smartest thing for you to do in this moment is to realize your little group of white people is not enough. And that you have to do something different. And they cannot let that go.
So,
and at the same time, when he says about like the white progressives are so dug in that they're not going to change from their progressive, they're not. Oh, they're not until when we tell you when they gonna change and they gonna remember they white and they will stop being alphabet. The minute that black people start being successful, and we start owning and taking care of ourselves, and they have to compete with us, you're going to see us go right back to Reconstruction. You're going to see us go right back because they have been told their entire lives that we are fucking inferior. And if they don't take care of us, we're going to be monkeys swinging from trees.
Right.
If we actually got to the point where we was dominating and moving shit like we were the last time they got uppity and start acting like goddamn fools. You see what happened last time we was doing our shit correctly. You see how they acted. This time it will be the white progressive that acts that way because they're not going to be able to handle and deal with the fact that they have been told white privilege, white privilege, white privilege, white privilege their entire fucking lives, and then they ran up against black excellence and felt inferior. So we are, if you want to know when the largest group of racists are going to be created, it is when white progressives wake up and realize black excellence. When that happens, Charlie Kirk and is going to get his wet dream because them white progressives is going to start talking like him again. Right? Last thing, when you talk about these people not knowing how smart, or that these people not being smart enough to know what they're doing, right? Realize until I started pushing Lily White, nobody discussed it at all. They have removed it from history. So do not underestimate the ability they have
That's true.
to erase entire segments of history.
That's true.
That it is not talked about and that it is not discussed. And the same thing goes for, since we're in Black History Month, I'll use it as an example. The same thing goes for Black History Month, right? They were literally saying Black History Month was created in 1979. That is bullshit. That is bullshit. And they were getting away with it because nobody was pushing back. And so if you understand, and you have to understand how insidious this is. So Negro History Week was created by Carter Woodson in 1926, right? And it was put in the second week of February to celebrate the birthdays of Abraham Lincoln and of Frederick Douglass, right? That not only were we supposed to remember Black history, and that's Black history is our history off the plantation, our history building our own Black Wall Streets, our history is with us becoming engineers and inventors and creators and dominators in almost every field. We was doing it, and we were supposed to remember that. But not only were we supposed to remember that, but we were also supposed to remember that the majority of our gains were made when blacks and whites in the Republican Party were working together. Before the Lily White, and remember at this point, he's watching it happen in real time. So he's trying to warn them in real time. Like, we built good shit together. We changed the fucking face of the nation together. Do you understand the strength we have when we work together? That is as much a part of Negro History Week as the studying of Black history itself. It is Republican history. Why am I telling you that? Because in 1979, along comes Republican Gerald Ford, and he turns it into Black History Month. Now, if you don't know the history of Carter Woodson, this starts sounding like a good thing. We don't have a week. We get a month, right? We're going to celebrate more Black people. All you did was erase all the symbolism. You erased all the meaning. You erased the purpose. And when you look at, say, oh, well, it's a good thing. Is it a good thing? How many Republicans don't know this fucking history because you separated it in 1979?
Damn.
And this is why you have a Republican Party that goes from the party of Lincoln to the party of Reagan with 100 years missing in the fucking middle. And that's 100 years of black people. And they do everything in their power to erase 100 years of black people. So understand, they know what they're doing.
So
they're
is
dumb.
The stuff we're seeing on the timeline today, is this the Southern strategy, the Lily White movement, is this some of the same stuff?
No, this is ignorant ass white people that don't know what the fuck they're doing. That's what it is. And they think that the easiest thing they'll tell us the easiest thing for us to latch on to is race. What the fuck you think they doing right now? We not latching on to race. We latching on to ownership. We latching on to trade. We latching on to equity. Like, we trying to latch on to some real shit. We ain't just latching on to race. Race is a part of who we are, and we can't get rid of that. Now we got to go and get the external shit. That's what we're looking at. All they're hooked on now is race because it's all they have left. They have no access to any American institution. Remember, the white people are supposed to run American institutions. They ain't got no power in no American institution. They used to have power in the military. They done lost that. They have no power anywhere. Nowhere. Where do they control anything?
Nowhere.
Where is any part of government where conservative whites dominate? It doesn't fucking exist, and they know it. And if this division of Republicans does not wake up, does not choose voluntary association, does not grow their base, they will become a regional party, just like they did. Understand, this is the part about history where, think about this, right? Well, after they became Lily White thinking that was going to help them in a political victory, right? What did Democrats do? Democrats immediately came behind and said, okay, we're going to build a coalition of everybody. This is under FDR.
Right.
So FDR brings in blacks, progressive Democrats, and progressive Republicans. And says, okay, this is what we're going to do. Republicans don't get back in power for 20 years after that. So did your Lily White little experiment that you did it work? Because if you wasn't Lily White and if you had kept blacks in the party and you were actually able to win federal elections, we would have never got the New Deal. What kind of fucking country would we be?
This is true.
What kind of country will we be if conservative-minded, entrepreneurial capitalists had been able to take the federal government through voluntary association like progressives took it through voluntary association? You lost then trying to be Lily White. You got your ass handed to you trying to be Lily White. You really want to try that experiment again? You really think you're going to get different results this time, especially with your white progressive cousins hating you the way that they hate you? You really think that's going to work out in your favor? So what I would tell white conservatives is, y'all can be overly emotional and fuck with these people if y'all want to. And y'all going to continuously get y'all ass handed to y'all. And the alternative to that is working with conservative-minded blacks and Hispanics that actually want to build, grow, and dominate in this country. So we have the ability to push back on the illegal invasion that's happening in our fucking country and that's happening in the fucking government's wallet and in their power over us as a whole. We as Americans got some motherfucking work to do. And it would be very, very nice if there was one political party in this motherfucking country that cared more about the work than holding on to some abstract part of history that they don't even want to talk about and defend.
But you kind of make the case for why this is the new Lily White movement. It's like another attempt at a failed strategy, which is in the short term. In the short term, it seems like it's going to work, right, for this election. But in the long term, it's going to, result you net negative gains.
It's not going to work this election, just like it didn't work 2020. It's not going to work this election. Look. If Trump does not have overwhelming numbers where his election cannot be denied, Democrats are going to do everything in their power to make sure he is immobile from day one. Everything in their power. His only fucking option is to win this election. Not at the motherfucking margin, but so fucking dominant, there is no question. And then the only way you keep the federal government off his ass in the next 4 years is if you have us infiltrating every Democrat stronghold, disrupting them, and making them have to pay attention to what the fuck we are doing. If they have to look and realize, holy shit, we are actually losing the black vote. And if we lose the black vote in these urban areas, we start losing entire states. Do you understand what that means in political representation? In the Electoral College? Like, this is the chance and opportunity to do something real and pause this shit with pure dominance of numbers. It's at our fingertips.
Got to win Congress too, though.
Lily White shit ain't gonna get us there.
The Lily White shit not gonna work, but they got to win Congress too. As you saw with the
no. That's my point. That is my point, right? Think about how these states have been gerrymandered, right?
Yeah.
Think about how these states have been gerrymandered. Now, they have did this shit on purpose so that they can make sure certain districts are safe, and then they have a few battle districts here and there. If we take their districts, do you feel me? And I'm not talking about just being at the federal level. No, you're going to also have to worry about defending your mayorship. Do you understand how mad black people are with these mayors? If we had infiltration teams right now going in, targeting every single one of these mayors, doing canvasses and audits of everything that they're doing and getting candidates ready to destroy them. And Democrats had to actually take their focus off the federal government to be able to concentrate on saving their city council seats, saving their mayor's office seats, and saving their state representative seats, and saving their congressional districts. That takes a lot of the focus off of what they are able to do at the federal level. So not only is this plan to being able to infiltrate these black areas great for black people because we actually get the progressive boot off of our neck, it also takes a lot of power away from the Democrats that control the federal apparatus because they have to contend with what the fuck is going on the ground. Right now, they don't have to worry because Republicans won't go. Their areas are safe. They can leave that shit undefended. What happens when you make them defend on all fronts? And you already see the separation they have. Black people are leaking in droves. What better time would there be for an infiltration than now?
Yep.
You know? So it's not, while they can continuously say, we focus on race, we're focusing on saving fucking America. And it just so happens the pathway to making sure you save America goes through Black America. And the fact that you don't want to see that is your fucking problem.
Oh, Jesus. I seen a brother today. He posted, he said, I'm at a job site now and come to find out the entire cleaning crew is all illegals. And he said, and they're all getting paid. And people asked, you know, how much? He said $2,200 per person to come in and clean. The illegals are getting paid $2,200 a week. A week. People are earning six-figure incomes crawling across the border. And then he follows it up and says, we got to get Trump in office. Black brother says this. So like you said, you know, the elections are right there for the taking. And what I'm seeing is a concerted effort to say, look, Trump's going to get the black vote this time around, at least at a higher margin than usual. But, you know, according to Phillips, the political strategist for Republicans, they don't want that to be any more than 20% because they might appear to be too black. And what I think many of these people are afraid of being replaced, right? Like the grifter level, they're afraid of being replaced by black voices because if we're doing this thing based upon meritocracy, you know the black voices do it the best.
Yeah, but when you say that they will seem too black, who will they seem too black to? Who will they seem too, like if you had 20% of black people, who would think that was too black? Who would get mad and say, oh no, it's too many black people? Who would do that? And this is
no
my
rational
thing.
person would.
This is my thing. There's a lot of white Republicans and conservatives that if you told them you could consistently have 20% of the black vote, they would take it. They would be like, oh, hell yeah, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? There is a hunger for it. The people at the top are the ones that would say it's too black.
Correct.
Right? And that's what the people at the bottom need to understand. It's not that they hate just us, boo. They hate you. Now, think about this. If you got your two black scenario, you would dominate the Republican Party. It's not that you would just dominate politics. You would also dominate the Republican Party. This is a Republican Party that has staved off the Reagan Revolution. They staved off the Tea Party. And they're thinking they're going to stave off MAGA too. You know what I'm saying? Every single time every one of these movements come, the movement comes. When the movement dies, the establishment takes back over. And then the movement comes and the movement dies and the establishment takes back over. What you think they're looking at MAGA like? You think they think you will be different? They don't think you will be different. They're just patient because they run everything. They control everything. They operate everything. And you white conservatives and Republicans that are like, yeah, we got y'all back, y'all not going to take that shit over. We don't need y'all just to have our back when we are having these conversations. You need to be in that motherfucking political party. So when our black asses show up, we got at least one white person there that's like, yo, no, this not how we doing this. And give the other white people confidence to understand that it's a brand new motherfucking day. And actually take that shit over. But you want us to go in and do it. You want us to shoulder all the burden and all the weight. And you don't have to activate. You don't have to do nothing. And that shit ain't gonna happen. So I just tell white conservatives and white Republicans, y'all got a choice to make. Y'all are either gonna choose voluntary association and have to learn how to deal with and talk to black people that are not inferior to you. You know what I'm saying? You will have to figure that shit out real quick and understand we are not the we are the fuck around and find out generation. You don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So y'all gonna have to y'all got some work y'all got to do because y'all not used to having these conversations. And I'm okay admitting that. And most black people would be okay admitting that. But you pretending that shit ain't true, nah, that's just not gonna work, you know? So again, we're gonna have a lot of work to do if we were to bust this thing open as black people that are pushing conservative principles and an ideology. We're gonna have a lot of work to do in black communities because that's gonna be where our motherfucking attention is gonna have to be until we take that shit over, right? So in the meantime, in between time, we need those people that say that they are allies or they voluntarily associate with us to be in position that as we start to build local black GOP parties, that those parties are able to integrate into a system that is not controlled by lily whites.
Sonny, appreciate you. I got to get to the next caller.
Okay, thank you for letting me vent. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Classic as always. Hotep and Bill. Classic. Somebody clip that. Sonny Johnson on Lily White. Somebody clip that. Send it to me. HotepJesus@gmail. Classic. Where's Strong Dad? Strong Dad calling. Harry says she's talking, but she's not saying much. What? Was you listening? She said a lot. That was like mad education.
Call from
Strong Dad.
Strong Dad, what's up, yo?
I don't even know what I'm supposed to say after Sonny. Yeah, Sonny, what she said.
Yeah, right?
Yo, I'm like, I don't know what I can say.
Yeah, she killed it.
Low key. She killed it. You know what I'm saying? I learned about these really white Republicans, this whole movement from a Sonny stream.
Correct.
You know, last election cycle. So I love hearing her spit the facts, and of course, they'll always make sure that information resurgence, has a resurgence when people start spouting off at the mouth. So, shout out to Sonny and Doe for keeping this information alive for us to continuously review. You know what I'm saying? Low key, I don't know, man. I feel like what Rudy was saying, but I think that it is working from an engagement perspective. No one is even. If you were to put the ratio of who listens to us in conservative-minded black people who are talking sense, and pin that up against Con Inc., we're getting washed. We get washed. I don't know, man. We're getting washed, man. Yo, like any one of us, the most popular of all of us, could say the realest shit, and you'll probably get like maybe 2,000 likes on it, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Let one of these grifters say some utterly stupid shit, but include black versus white, and it's in the millions. There's no comparison. They're winning.
Yeah.
But I don't think that them winning this, this type of fight is going to quantify whether or not they lose the election. I think this is just what changes the conversation. That's all that they're winning in the end. But yeah, even I live in Colorado, so very liberal. It's kind of like a purple area, but where I'm at is very red. Down in Denver, it's very blue. And these people are starting to talk like Republicans because of immigrants. So I don't think that it's going to take very much to push them to this side. I really don't. I think that the line between a white liberal speaking like a conservative identitarian is real fucking thin. And it starts with their problems, black people's problems becoming their problems, or, immigrant problems or poor people's problems becoming their problems, because they're all rich. So whenever our problems become theirs, they start acting like Republicans. And that's all it takes, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see that. I don't see that change.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, people know how their wild's being affected, and they're going to defect to Republicanism because of, the last 4 years, and it's not really much you need to do. But, I'm just, looking at the Lily White movement, the Southern Strategy, all of this shit, and I'm just saying, like,
I wish I could go back in time and flash them niggas and be like, yo, you realize this strategy is going to fuck you over in the future. How do you think this is going to work? Man, if I could go back in time.
But I see, like, I always zoom out and look at it from like a Carol Quigley perspective, where it's like the Republicans were dominating so long. So what do we do to diminish their power and give more power to the Democrats? All right, here's a very losing strategy that'll work in the short term and create some sort of balance of power between them and the Democrats. And now you're starting to see more of that balance of power. So then when they trot out their talking heads like Charlie Kirk and the rest of them, I'm trying to figure out what is it that the puppeteers are trying to pull with this resurgence of the Lily White movement. It's got to be more than engagement and clicks.
Well, I feel like Charlie Kirk is obviously working to keep the conversation one way. I believe he's getting paid to do that. But most importantly, this nigga's a tranny, so why would we even care about him? For real, look at this fool's face. Look at his face and tell me that this does not look like a trans person. For real. You want to tell me that's not a trans person? Like, I thought Blair White was the infiltration. It was Charlie Kirk. He's the OG of this entire thing. That's all I got.
I appreciate you, man.
He's paid for it. I love y'all, man.
Hotel Bill. Oh, let's get Goldstein in here. Goldstein say he not letting y'all ride in his wake no more. Y'all got to go first now. So GG, you almost had me. He said, I think it is good for black Republicans to know that there is some of this BS on their sides. Some of this BS on their side and address it like she did. Now let's build along class lines. That sounds like a socialist comment to me. You had me into that last thing. Goldstein, what you got for us today, man? What you make of all of this?
What's going on? First and foremost, I do want to say, good to have you back.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
You beat the virus, but let that be a lesson to you. You can't just go around eating anybody's chicken tikka masala.
This is facts. Right. I gotta do better.
Can't just go around eating anybody's Penang.
This is true.
But listen, I agree with the how. And I agree with part of the why.
Uh-huh.
You see these Charlie Kirks and the rest of these tramps fucking doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
I do have a slightly darker take on part of the why, though.
Okay.
I think some of the more higher ups within these political parties, and I'm not talking about the legit motherfuckers, even though legit motherfuckers may actually be catching wind to this to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the people like the Charlie Kirks and Matt Walshes and all these motherfuckers, I think that they are doing a couple of things here. One, they're counting heads, right? They're counting heads, and they're trying to fucking gather as many people under an umbrella, a specific umbrella, as possible. The easiest one to do that in the internet age is the umbrella of anger, angst, and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the easiest to tap into. They choose to do it along racial lines. Other people choose to do it along other lines.
Right.
But this is the route they're going. So if they can gather as many people as they can under this particular worldview, then secondly, it allows them to continue to cash in on those people. Right? Now, in the instance of Charlie Kirk, you said earlier that he's not necessarily motivated by money, he's motivated by power. And this is true. But I don't believe that the people that these motherfuckers are listening to, these Charlie Kirks, these Matt Walshes and shit, I don't believe that those people believe what they say. I think those people understand that this country and this political system and all of it is fucking cooked. So these motherfuckers are gathering as many resources and amassing as many people, which is the best resource you could have, as they can, and they're getting ready to jump ship soon. I think this is the motivating factor for a lot of shit that goes on behind the scenes. I don't think these people think they can save the system. Of course, they'll sell that level of hope to their constituency as if they can all come together and do it, but I don't believe they believe it. And I think this is them, like I said, amassing as many people and as many resources as they can for when the shit finally collapses. So that way they already have a financial base that they can continue to capitalize off of.
That's one hell of a take. That's shit. Damn.
I think a lot of these smarter individuals, and I'll give them that credit. These are smart individuals. They may be wrong in this regard, but I think a lot of them are looking at it through this prism that this can't be saved anymore. So when you have that mindset and when you have financial assets and shit to protect, this is the plan. This is the final solution plan, as it were, for lack of a better term. I'm sorry.
So unity of the white identitarians.
Right. And they may not even believe that, because at the end of the day, I think they're just all financial opportunists who are in it for themselves. They latch on to bigger ideas in an attempt to grift off motherfuckers. And this is how they plan on sustaining their grip in their mind. Now, all their eggs may not be in this particular basket, but make no mistake about it, they are amassing at least some, because they're looking at everything on the landscape and it's becoming increasingly pessimistic. It's becoming increasingly more and more difficult to solve the problem of, can we continue this system? And when that happens, if you're smart to any degree, you have to have that, at least as a backup plan. Otherwise, you're just caught out there. And that's what I believe this is. This is them creating that environment for that purpose. Now, if things kind of straighten out and the ship kind of rightens itself, it's really easy to back away from that. You know, I was a bit misguided, I'm sorry, yada, yada, yada. And then you can go right back into the flow of things.
Right.
But if not, you have an entire legion of motherfuckers that you can continue to suck the blood off of to help prop up your shit. And that's what I believe this is all about with them. It may not be like that with everyone, but it's becoming increasingly clear that that's what it's about with Charlie Kirk, Daily Wire, and shit like that.
Is Elon in on this?
Yeah. Elon's in on this shit too, because like I said, that's the easiest one to tap into. These are smart businessmen at the end of the day. You can't just go, especially if you feel a sense of urgency, like shit could collapse at any minute. You can't just go trying to build a brand new segment of motherfucking people that you can fucking capitalize on, because I don't give a fuck how many guns you have, how much food you have, all that shit. The best resource is the human resource. People are the single best resource that you can have. And they understand that like none other, because they're billionaires. They've made their entire bones off of people. And fucking these people are using that because it's the quickest way to get to what they want. It's the quickest way to get the outcome. It's the anger industrial complex that I always talk about. And of course, that has its own facets. You have, you know, the trans shit, you have the racial shit, you have this component, that component, that component. They're choosing the racial component. But like I said, they may not even agree with that. To some degree, I guess you have to in order to sell it, but it may not be their main motivating factor. And people have to understand that. Because if you just fall right into it thinking that this is going to be your leader, your thought leader, or whatever the fucking case may be, you may be found wanting if shit does collapse. Because you didn't build your shit on a fucking solid foundation. You built your shit on a foundation that they provided for you, which means that at any moment, they can pull the rug out from under you. I just think these people are just selfish, grifting, I only give a fuck about me and mine type motherfuckers to the degree where they abandon their own fucking race. And you can't tell me, looking at how Charlie Kirk has moved, looking at motherfucking Matt Walsh and how he has moved, you can't tell me any different. They will sell out every last white motherfucker they can find if it means that they can preserve their own shit. Because if that's not the case, they would have been singing this song years ago, like Rudy said. They would have been on this because they genuinely believed it. Right. But they make this about face all of a sudden. And at first I was like, well, maybe this is some type of political strategy. But as I started seeing the shit develop, hearing more and more what they said, seeing how they were moving, seeing how they're almost damn near pushing the fucking pedal to the metal on this shit, I'm like, nah, there's something else here. And the main motivating factor for people to act this erratically is typically money.
I'm looking at the TVUSA website right now. Looks like they have a Black Conservatives page. And this page has not been updated since September 16th, 2021.
That's probably right around the time they've all been talking about this, because you could easily see how shit was going back then, especially if you were caught off guard with this entire COVID shit, only to find out that, oh my damn, the corporations and the government that I fucking trusted had a hand in all this shit. Now you can easily start to see there may be no recovering this. We may be too fucking far gone. So let's start doing something else just in case.
Right.
And this is their something else.
I remember they had, so they got Student Action Summit. They got the Young Women's Leadership Summit. Made in America Tour, Turning Point Academy, TBUSA Faith. So they go on that Christian route, the Christian Griff. Black Leadership Summit. This is what I was looking for. The Black Leadership Summit. This was October 3rd to 5th, 2019. Whatever happened to that? Student Action. What is this? Okay, past events. Here we go. Past events. So we went Student Action Summit, Young Women's. They even had Young Latino Leadership Summit. 2022, Young Women's Leadership, Student Action, Defeating the Great Reset, WRC, Latinos in 2022. That's where it starts.
They were about that outreach life.
And now no more.
Just all of a sudden, let's not, you know what I mean? Because how many moving pieces is that? If you're a TPUSA, if you're a Charlie Kirk looking to extend and maintain your empire, as it were, how many moving parts do you have right there with the blacks, the whites, with this, with that? You've extended yourself because you had hope in the system. You had hope that you could turn it around. Once that hope goes, everybody and their mama will revert to some form of tribalism, and he's choosing this one because it's profitable, it's fast, and it's easy. Now, I know that's a bit of a black pill take, and I know it's pessimistic, but it is a take. And I mean, it's one that I'm slowly leaning to.
I like it. I like it.
Shit.
It's very challenging. You know me. I always like the challenging takes. It's a very challenging take. All right, man.
Like they're
huh?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say they're actively spreading misinformation. You could look at Matt Walsh's post today talking about whites abolish slavery. They were the first to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You might want to look at the fucking, I think his name is Mang Dang or some shit like that, dynasty from fucking China back in the 9th century. That nigga abolished slavery. What you talking about? You the first to do it. That was an easy Google search.
Yeah.
So when you're just on that level, I refuse to believe that the brain trust that these people are plugged into would allow them to say that unless it's purposeful.
Well, yeah, they go off of Hart Mifflin, you know, what Rockefeller told everybody to believe. You know, that's the type of shit they rocking off of.
But that's it though, man. I'm gonna let you get back to it.
I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
It's a hell of a take. That's a hell of a take from Goldstein. Democrats are good at sleight of hand. Thank you, Francisco Sanchez. Look at the language. Some Democrats are painting Republicans as anti-border control now as they push that border control bill. Damn. When they lost Sharice Lane, that's when shit crumbled for the Black Youth Program. I don't know. I don't know what her role was. I didn't think she had. Was she that high up at TPUSA where like she ran the Black Youth Program? Maybe she didn't. I just am not aware. I follow Sharice. She's cool. Here's Ohio Tech.
Call from.
Oh, Steph is in there too. Yo, what's good, yo?
Yeah.
What you got?
You know, I was surprised about that. I didn't expect to hear Sonny today, so thank you for that treat.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
That was a good take.
Yeah, that was dope.
No, and oh yeah, I caught that interview the other day, but I wasn't I wasn't watching live like I usually am. But Jay Dyer, I appreciated that too. Good, some good content. Even though I'm glad you.
Oh, Jay Dyer, yeah, that was a
dope. Take a day off,
Yeah, that was
dope. Do it every day. I mean, you gotta do it every now and then. You can't grift every day.
Yeah. No, that was great. That was a great interview. I didn't realize he was as knowledgeable as he was.
Oh yeah. Oh man. That's the funny thing. I was telling you I was watching a lot of those Christian conservatives recently. A lot of them were actually bringing him up.
Okay.
Just in terms of, I guess, apologetics.
Yeah.
He dabbles in that.
Okay.
So yeah, I was aware. I was like, oh, yeah, he got a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah. No, very knowledgeable dude.
Yeah, for sure.
It's great to have him on. I can't wait to speak to him again.
I know, man. Like some of the topics y'all got into, I was surprised. I was like, damn, I didn't really expect him to go this way.
Yeah. What the fuck? I went to the Blexit part of TPOSA. I'm like, all right, maybe they still got some outreach. They said live events coming soon. Guess they put that shit on pause. Don't need no Blexit no more. Shit crazy, bro.
Oh yeah, I feel like you hadn't said anything about Candace.
I haven't said anything about Candace. You're right.
You just used it for the thumbnail?
Just used it for the thumbnail. You know what I'm saying? Grifting.
Yeah, but
just grifting.
That take, I do slightly disagree with Sonny, I was going to say. I think that a lot of these people, like, they actually believe for lack of better words, you know, the crack that they smoking, you know, is the best shit, you know. So, but they will also tell you, you know, they don't consider themselves white, you know, the whole colorblind thing.
Yeah.
They walking around with this cognitive dissonance because a lot of them really don't, like, they try to ignore the kind of stuff you brought up today. That stuff even happened, you know. They'll be quick to explain to you how the Southern strategy was a myth. And all these other things that we bring up as not ways to demonize white people, but ways to help them understand what they did wrong in the past and how to improve in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like I was having a conversation, you know, ironically enough, right? You know, that whole reparations conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I was ironically having a conversation with somebody about that the other day, and I was the fact that we couldn't have a conversation about reparations, the concept itself, without them like feeling the need to like kind of bring it back to that one view of reparations. But we were actually just having a conversation about, like, you know, the concept of reparations, and I just thought it was funny. I'm like, people are so triggered by that. Like, this is the thing they always want to go to when they think about the definition of things, and they're so controlled by this whole racial thing. When she was talking about how they got good at, you know, blocking out entire parts of history, it's like, that's true, and that's part of why these people, like, they don't really even have anything to draw off of, because a lot of the stuff they have to pull off of now is being corrupted by the left.
Mm.
Like, you know, the origins of the country and whatnot. Mm-hmm. They got to kind of, every time they try to counter something the left does, they end up just sinking deeper and deeper into it. But they actually think that what they're doing is the right way, and that they're the only ones who know the truth. So it's kind of hard to snap them out of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of an uphill battle at this point. I say. Sunny is right for sure when she says that's their problem at the end of the day. They got some internal stuff to figure out. I guess we get the.
So would you disagree with her on? Would you disagree with Sunny on?
Because I think she was saying that I think she was kind of saying they were stupid.
Uh-huh.
But I think a lot of these motherfuckers actually think they, like, especially Matt Walsh. Like, I don't think he's stupid. I think they actually think that the shit that they be saying is true.
Yeah.
Like, they actually believe that shit, you know, because they start looking at shit, develop their interpretation of history. They all get their own narrative and they start running with it, and they believe the shit they smoke. They believe the shit they smoking is the dopest.
I don't even see grifters anymore. I just see agents of the Central Intelligence Agencies. I don't like when these people have all these millions of followers and all this power and shit. I'm like, oh yeah, that's an op. It's an op. Let me get the Steph Colonel, bro.
Some of them are for real. It'd be hard to tell with some of them, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, let me get the Steph Colonel. Let me get Steph Colonel on the phone because I'm starting to feel wheezy.
Oh yeah, man. I'll let you go.
All right, man. Hotel Bill. Steph Colonel calling me. Yeah, I think I've run my limit and I need to lay down. This thread is hilarious. I posted this and they just going ape shit in there. They just all in here just arguing with each other. Then there's branches of this arguing in the quote tweets. Just doing too much.
Call from
Steph Colonel.
Steph, what up, yo?
Yo, what up?
What up?
All right, I'm gonna be real quick with my point or whatever. So the Club Shay Shay interview with Monique just dropped a few hours ago, right?
About to go watch it.
Dude, last time I checked, they had like 158,000 lives.
Don't spoil it for me.
I'm not going to spoil it. There's a point I want to make, but it's
because it has something to do with. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not. Oh, damn.
You gonna spoil it?
All right. I'm not gonna spoil it. Damn, I can't because then
exactly.
It's not it's not like a big spoiler though. Like
it's
you know what I'm saying?
But
it's related. It's related to the conversation.
Just get ahead, man. Just get ahead and say it, man.
All right. There was a part where Shannon compared black people who don't hold other people accountable, like Trump supporters who don't hold Trump accountable, right? At the time, there's 87,000 people watching. Whole fucking chat just starts going Trump 2024. The entire chat, and there's 87,000 live, and it just says Trump 20. Everybody's putting Trump 2024 up in the chat for like 3 minutes. Yo, this is now. Remember who's watching this. This is Black Twitter. This is Shade Room. This is the hood that's watching this, and it's Trump 2024 flooding the chat. People are here. Yo, the hood is here. The hood is here. Everybody's been saying it. Hotep's been told you. Sonny been told you. Everybody been told you.
It's another 3-hour one.
I think it might be like 3. I didn't.
It says 2 hours and 55 minutes.
Yeah, it was a long one. I didn't even finish watching, so I gotta watch it again. But that's what happened during the lot. That's what happened during the lot.
Angles are fire.
Yeah.
The color selection. Yeah. His setup is really dope.
Yeah, it's decent. I gotta watch it again because I didn't finish watching it. But when I noticed that point, I'm like, oh, this is kind of crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm looking for it now. How far into the interview do you think it was?
I think I was in 2. I was in the 2 hours because you came on and I just started watching you, of course. So
that's love. That's love.
Yeah, you already know, man. You already know.
I'm about to go watch.
And then
right now.
Yep. But that's it, man. That's kind of what I wanted to say because Sonny come in and just crush some shit. You can't really add nothing. After Sonny come in, it's really hard to add. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody that did though, but it's really hard. You know.
That's her world. That's what she do.
Yeah.
She eat, sleep, and drink this.
Sonny a living legend, yo. It's like when you think that she doesn't have any more fire, it's just like, yo, hold my Molotov. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, telling you. All right, man. I'm out of here. Hotel and Bill, bro.
All right, Hotel and Bill. Club Shay just dropped. I might have to get my review on this. I can't find the part where they was talking Trump. But that's what I was saying, like, that's why I think it might be a counterbalance. I think the powers that be know they might lose the Republican Party on some black shit. Because niggas that was never talking about politics no more, like, nah, nigga, we need Trump back in there. I can't remember the last time I've seen so many niggas saying shit like, yo, we got to get out there and vote. We got to get out and vote. I'm not talking about the paid propaganda things like vote or die and all of that. I'm talking about like people on the street. Like, no, I can't remember the last time. All right, Obama was probably the last time that black men got up and said, we have to vote. When it was Biden and Trump the first time, black men wasn't really that vocal. The second time, black men really wasn't that vocal. Now, it's almost like an act of desperation how. So that's why I think like the Lily White movement is like, hold up. We need to slow the growth of black people into the movement. We want them for Trump, but we don't want them to stay. We don't want them. I don't know. I could be wrong. Iron Man overall, Rumble said, I always love to hear Goldstein's take. Smart dude. Yeah, he went super galaxy take on that one. Super black pill. That was a really good take. That shit had my mind going. I'm gonna have to revisit that thought. Thank y'all for viewing the Grift Report. I'm about to go medicine up, lay down, watch this Club Shay Shay interview. I'll be back tonight with the chess squad, kick.com/Hotep Jesus for chess lessons from 8 to 10. Then I'm going to continue to recover. I'll be back for the Griff Report tomorrow, Hotep Thursday, 2 p.m. In the meantime, Hotep and Bill. Yeah. No, what do I always say? Be well, stay merry, tell somebody in your family that you love them. Hotep and Bill. Gotta stay on brand. All right, I'm out of here.
Envision a sanctuary where community and sustainability are the cornerstones of living. In this haven, every family is able to grow their own food, children flourish through homeschooling tailored to unlock their full potential, and education extends beyond textbooks, instilling self-worth and a deep understanding of the world around them. Here, goodwill isn't just an ideal, it's the essence of daily life, where respect for law and order harmonizes with the community's resourcefulness. This place isn't just a dream, it's a call to action for everyone who believes in a better, more connected way of living. Join us in building a future where each individual's contributions create a tapestry of enduring harmony and prosperity. Join us in Hotepistan,